Welcome, welcome. I am Andrea Arena from the Energetic Ad Lab, and today I'm standing on my business and I'm inviting you to stand on yours too. Most people believe that they have to choose between success or depth, money or meaning, visibility or integrity, ambition or soul. But what if that choice was never real? What if the tension that you've been feeling wasn't because you were conflicted, but because you had taken on a false belief? Somewhere along the way, many conscious spiritual people, healers, leaders, visionaries absorbed an idea that business is worldly, it's corrupt, only for power-hungry people, that money is somehow impure, ungodly, unclean, that visibility is ego, prideful, boastful, that success itself is suspicious, stolen, and soul-sucking. And they split themselves in two. One self, the spiritual self, the truthful self, and the other self, the ambitious self, the visible self. And they try to only live from one side at a time. And they go to work and they leave their spiritual selves hidden, or they spend time in conscious communities with others, and they don't stand proudly in their business. Last week, I heard a popular phrase uttered on a reality TV show that I was watching with my daughter, and it hit me powerfully. I am standing on business. Now, most of you have probably heard this before. Of course, I haven't, because I'm not really a social person when it comes to that, but it was spoken by Justin Bieber. But let's just go there for a minute. I absolutely love this phrase. I want to stand on my business, and I want you to stand there too. Standing implies presence, embodiment, ownership, groundedness, self-trust. Standing doesn't imply aggression or force, performance, chasing, striving. It's stability. When you're standing on business, you are occupying your place, your truth, your values, your work in the world. And that's authority energy, embodied leadership. It's that feeling that people get even before they understand what it is that you do. Your alignment creates authority. Alignment with what you ask, who you are. You cannot separate your spiritual self from your business self, because when you divide yourself, you divide your power. If something inside you is already recognizing what I'm saying, that recognition matters, because recognition is the first step to becoming visible. The real problem is identity. Most people try to grow their results without expanding their capacity to hold those results. So when growth starts happening, the system panics, visibility increases, and they retreat. They become unsure. They question their why. Opportunities arrive, they hesitate, they postpone, they delay, they make excuses. Money flows and they tighten, afraid to receive, afraid to lose it, afraid to even hold it or even desire it, because they weren't standing in their business first. Not because they don't want it. Oh, they do. They want it badly, but they haven't yet become someone who feels safe receiving it, who feels worthy of receiving it for the work that they do in the world. Your work does not need more pushing. Your work needs more of you, who you are. Not more effort, more embodiment. Because the truth is, you don't grow by doing more. You grow by becoming more. And when you become more, more gets done through you. The moment you stop seeing business as a performance, as something that you have to do, and start seeing it as a portal for your expression in the world, everything changes. And you stop asking, what should I post? What should I say? What strategy should I use? And you start asking, who am I being when I show up? And who do I need to become to create the life that I deeply desire? Because people don't respond to effort, they respond to coherence. And coherence is when who you are and how you show up all match. That's what builds trust. That's what builds resonance. That's what builds influence. There comes a moment on this path where something inside of you realizes, I don't need permission to be visible. I don't need approval to speak. I don't need validation to begin. I am here, it is now, and I'm standing on business. My business is not separate from me. It is the outer expression of one of the deepest desires of my soul. Money, wealth, richness, time, and experiences, and expression. These are all outcomes of me standing on my business. And that moment is powerful because that's the moment you stop waiting and you start allowing. Success was never more followers, more money, more recognition. Success is the moment your outer life matches your inner truth. Everything else is just a byproduct, an overflow. Your business is not separate from your evolution. In fact, it's one of the fastest accelerators of it because business will show you where you doubt yourself, where you hide, where you overprove, where you shrink, where you hold back. Not to shame you, but to reveal you. Business is one of the clearest mirrors you will ever stand in front of. That's why it's sacred. So what if you stopped asking, how do I grow my business? And you started asking, who am I becoming through my business? Because when that question becomes your focus, growth stops being stressful and starts being inevitable. You are not here to build a business. You are here to become someone. And the business is simply one of the ways that becoming expresses itself. So if you've ever felt like you had to choose between your depth and your success, you don't. If you've ever felt like visibility might cost you your truth, it won't. If you've ever worried that growth might separate you from yourself, it doesn't have to. Because your business is not outside your path. Your business is part of your path. It is not in conflict with your soul. It is one of the ways that your soul speaks. So the question is no longer, can I succeed and stay true? The question is, are you ready to let your truth succeed? I'm going to stand on my business here and tell you that that's why I created Be Seen. It's an immersion designed to help you step into the version of you that is no longer hiding, no longer splitting, no longer holding back. If you feel that pull, that quiet knowing that you're meant to be seen, I want to personally invite you to join us. Our next immersion starts next month. Check the comments for the link. Now, here is what I want you to know. You don't need to choose between business success and spiritual depth. Your business is a sacred portal, not a distraction from your path, not a corruption of your purpose, and not a test of your integrity. It's a portal. It's an expression of you, your soul, your purpose. And I promise you, when you allow your inner self to shine into the world that you have kept separate for so long, you're going to become unstoppable. A place where your inner truth becomes outer form. Most people think business is about selling and marketing and strategy, numbers, growth, money. But at its essence, business is simply your expression, meeting the world. If you have something real inside of you, wisdom, creativity, truth, perspective, medicine, insight, business is one of the most powerful ways that that truth can reach people. So why aren't all of us who have a powerful message inside us not standing on our business? I believe it was because that success was never really presented as the sacred thing it is. It was presented as something to aspire to, but not at the expense of leaving others behind. It was presented maybe that it belonged to others, that they had some, secret ingredient that you didn't, that it belonged to those who had more drive, greater opportunities, more achievements, more certifications. And most of all, success was something that came at the expense of something else, something valuable. We've all heard the story of the marriage that failed because one of the partners spent 16 hours a day at the office. Success always came at a cost. What we couldn't see was that we needed to stand on our business, be whole and complete, and stand there unapologetically, letting go of the beliefs that we held that kept that kept us safely spiritual, small enough to stay comfortable, invisible enough to stay unjudged, and quiet enough to stay unchallenged. We didn't fail, we self-limited, because that's how we stayed safe. Most of us picked up these self-limiting beliefs early on and never questioned them again. We didn't know yet how to become visible, and we didn't know how to become someone successful. Our nervous systems, always wired for safety, kept us in familiar comfort zones, and we never learned that it was safe to stand on our business. If you felt something, if you felt seen while listening to this, that's not an accident. That's just recognition. And recognition is always the beginning of expansion. So if something inside of you felt seen while listening to that, that's not random. That's truth recognizing itself. And if you feel ready to step into that truth, to stop preparing to be visible and become someone who is visible, I invite you to join me inside of my Be Seen immersion. That space exists for the moment someone decides that they're ready to stand in their visibility fully. And if you're not quite ready for that step yet, but you know something is opening in you, come join us inside the Energetic Ad Lab. It's my free and growing community for conscious creators who are exploring business, visibility, and what that looks like. We are all here in this together. I will see you when you are ready to be seen. Thank you for joining me.